Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching my previous video on shaving. I was blown away with the number of comments that I received, and also thank you so much for the beautiful comments that you've made. Today I'd like to talk about razor blades. Now you might notice right here that I've cut myself shaving. And there's a reason for this, and that's why I'm doing this video, to help you avoid this type of mistake. It's happened only twice in all the times I've shaved. I was thinking, well, how come it happened and how can I help others prevent this from happening? So I gave it a lot of thought, and here are a couple of tips to avoid cutting yourself when shaving. As you would have seen in the original video, an important thing is to make sure that your skin is very soft, and therefore it's good to shave after you've had a shower or you've gone through the routine of softening your skin. So that's definitely the first tip. The second tip is to make sure that you use the right tool, because not all razor blades are made equal. They may all seem the same, but actually they're not. You're more likely to have an issue with these three than with this one. This is the cheapest razor just here. This one is the most expensive one that I have, and I have actually shaved with all of these. All three razor blades have the flexible head. Definitely don't use one with a stiff head. That's you're asking for trouble like that. If you can see this one here, the angle of the head, it's almost horizontal, whereas this one here is almost vertical. And actually these three just here have given me the most issues. I have to be really careful if I shave with these three, whereas this one I can be a little less concerned about, and there's a reason for that, because whilst these ones, the heads move like that with varying degrees of flexibility, this one's head not only moves backwards, but it also moves from side to side, and I found that's quite useful, especially when you're doing a really long stroke. So I would say that invest in a good razor, a razor with good mobility, in order to reduce the risk of it cutting into your skin. There are some other differences with these razors, and one thing I noticed that is important is the angle of the blade. There is a difference in the distance of the blades one from the other and the angle of the blades, and that also makes the razor more or less likely to cut you. So go for a good razor with lots of mobility. I can't stress that enough, otherwise you will nick yourself from time to time. My final tip is just take your time. The first time I nicked myself, I was using this particular razor. It was a new razor, I wasn't familiar with it. I don't recommend, it's actually a Bic razor. Cuts far too close to the skin, which is great if you want a super close shave, but not great if you've got really thick curly hairs and you need to leave a little above the skin, because the regrowth wasn't so great when I used this particular razor, and worst of all, it actually did cut me. And the second time I got cut, again, I was not using my top grade razor, and I was rushing. I was in a little bit of a hurry and I didn't really take my time. I was a bit distracted, and so I cut myself. So those are my tips. Make sure your skin is well softened, use a high quality safety razor, and then finally, take your time. I hope that this is useful to you.